Hello, this is Dr. Mears. Today we are going over paper 1, example number 12. Here's the example number right here. And this example is actually taking you back to your algebra classes when we were doing solving simultaneous equations, or what's called systems of equations. So let's read and really get back to algebra 1 here. An iron bar is heated. Its length L in millimeters can be modeled by a linear function. L equals m times T plus C, where T is the temperature measured in Celsius degrees. At 150 degrees Celsius, the length of the iron bar is 180 millimeters. So what I'm going to put is this is the T and this is the L. So I like to make sure that I know where they would go if I had to substitute them in. Part A, write down the equation that shows this information. Okay, so we have L equals m times T plus C. So let's write, we have 150, so that's going to be substituted in for the T. And we have 180, that's going to be substituted in for the L. So this is going to be m times 150 plus C. Now, this is being multiplied here, so what I like to usually do is I like to write the number in front because we're very used to seeing like 4x or 5x or 150 times m, which is the same way as this. Either way you want to write it, they will accept it. I think we're just used to seeing the number in front of the variable here when it's being multiplied. So that's part A. So down in our box, let's make sure we're practicing good practice and writing it down in the box. So 180 equals 150m plus C. And that's it. That's worth a point. So remember, this is a points game, so let's make sure we get those points. Okay, let's see what B says. Ooh, I have some extra information here, so let's always make sure we read this extra information. At 210 degrees Celsius, the length of the iron bar is 181.5 millimeters. So again, they're giving me a new temperature and a new length. So let's see what they want us to do for B. This was A. All right, so part B, write down the equation that shows this second piece of information. Oh, yay. Okay, so this is worth another point here. So we can do that. So remember, L equals m times T plus C. So they gave us the length of 181.5 equals m times, they gave us the temperature of 210 plus C. Again, you can write this right down in the answer box if you want, but I do like to rewrite it because I like my numbers in front of my variables. So 210m plus C. These are the same exact things. I just wrote it a little bit different, what I'm used to. Okay, so let's write that in our answer box. 181.5 equals 210m plus C. All right, let's see what else they would like us to do for the last part. Ooh, this is worth 4, so there's going to be some work involved. Part C, hence find the length of the iron bar at 40 degrees Celsius. So they gave us T and they want us to find L. We don't know what L is going to be. All right, so we have two equations here. We have the 180 equals 150m plus C. We have the 181.5 equals 210m plus C. We have a variable, a number for a variable to substitute in. However, we don't know what m or c is. So we have what's called a system of equations. A system is two or more equations, 1 and 2. So we're going to have to solve for m and for c so that we can actually find out what the constant is going to be. So let's go through and solve. Okay, so how we go through, remembering how to solve systems of equations, I'm going to put 180 equals 150m plus c. Underneath, I'm going to put my second one, 181 equals 210m plus c. This is a system. I'm going to add them together. However, I'm going to use what's called elimination. Elimination is where we choose to eliminate a variable. And in eliminating a variable, we are going to need to use some multiplication. So the variable that I would like to eliminate here is, I look to see, I'm going to eliminate these c's. Each one of these c's has a 1 in front. So I can eliminate this by multiplying my whole entire equation by a negative 1. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to get negative 180 equals negative 150m minus c. Then, so all I did was I just multiplied that and I brought it down. I'm going to then bring my 181.5 down, my 210m plus C. So I'm going to add. Because these both have the same coefficient, 1, and opposite signs, when we add them, they eliminate, or we can eliminate them so they cancel out. I am now ready to add these two together. When I add negative 180 plus 181.5, I get a 1.5 equals negative 150m plus 210m is 60m. I am now at the step where I can simply divide both sides by 60, and I can solve for my variable m. My variable m is going to be 0.025. I'm going to take this answer, I'm going to transfer it all the way up here. So just take a good look at that. You might want to pause there. It's a nice little picture. And copy this down, or even rewind and go back to see how I did that math. All right, so I'm going to take my 0.025, which is my m. I'm going to transfer it up here. So what I can do is I can use one of the two equations. So I can choose to use this one or this one. I'm actually going to choose to use this one. I like using the 180 versus a decimal here. So I'm going to take my 180 equals 150 times. I found what my m was, which is 0.025. So I'm going to substitute that in plus c. Now that I know what my m is, I'm going to be able to find what my c is. So 180 equals 150 times 0.025 is 3.75 plus c. I can subtract 3.75 from both sides. Out. I'm subtracting because this was plus. So my c is going to equal 176.25. Okay. So here I go. I know what my C is. I know what my M is. I'm going to write that down. That my M was 0.025. I just brought it up. I know what my C is. I know what my M is. I can now use my equation, L equals MT plus C, that they gave us, to figure out what the length is when we have a T of 40. So let's substitute all of this information in, okay? So we're looking for length. We have no idea what the length is. Equals. I know what my M is. My M is 0.025. Times. I know what my T is. 40. Plus, I know what my C is. 176.25. Sorry, I went out of the box. I write really big. So I can do this in the calculator. Multiply 0.025 times 40 and then add 176.25. When I do that, I get a length of 177.25. And so when I write it in my box down here, I'm going to put 177.25, and let's make sure we drop millimeters on because that's what it is. So this has been a nice review of solving a system of linear equations and being able to substitute our value to find out our unknown length. Hopefully this helped. If you need to review, please review and write it down. Thank you.